Shout out to all the brothers and sisters out there in social media land. We're going to go into some studies. I'm not gonna say when, but there's something specific that we want to take a look at. Maybe we'll get it done today, maybe not. But the reason why I'm making this video, I wanted to come on and make this video. I got a phone call yesterday from one of our sisters, and she had told me that the last time that we had tried to raise money to lift up one of our sisters, that she wasn't able to do it. And she said that she wanted to do it anyway still. And so we wanted to say thanks for that. We wanted to tell her thank you, and then we want our sister to know that your gift have already made it to the intended destination, and we're grateful for that. And I think one of the main things that we're grateful of in this situation, I don't know how I came to be in this particular place, but I am glad that it happened the way it did. It's one thing for you to go out and ask for something on somebody else's behalf. It's something totally different for somebody to come out of concern for somebody else and then just opt to do it, even though what we had sought to do had already been accomplished and done. We used to have they used to pray a prayer at church. They used to say, "Blessed are those that give, and bless those that have a desire in their heart to give, but just don't have it." And we want to thank the Father for the brothers and sisters that sometimes don't have it, but they have a desire in their heart to do something anyway. And then when they're in a position to do it, they follow through and then get it done. And don't forget that many times we don't have, and we say, "Man, if I had it, I would do it. Man, if I had it, I would do it." But then when we get it, we forget that we said if we had it, we'll do it, and we never follow through with the thing that we said we would do. So, and not only that, we also had waking up this morning to a pinging phone, and I know that people are getting their stimulus money and stuff like that. I'm hoping that I get it as well, but I see that people have made contributions to that PayPal account, and that's a wonderful thing when people can do things and you don't even ask them for it. You know what I mean? It may be something. It may be something that the Father may try to show us about what it means to try and produce good works. You know, give and it shall be given, shall men give into your bosom, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And I myself, I remember that when me and Sweetie was in our time of debasement, it was not the people that were surrounding me in the Kansas City area, and it was not my family members that would assume the responsibility for us, even though we could go to them and get something every now and then. But during our time of abasement, we had been first-hand witnesses of brothers and sisters that had hearts to do things like that. And there were many times that brothers and sisters would send us things so that we could, so that we could survive through our time of lack and want. And there have been other times that brothers have, sent to make sure that the utilities stay on, to make sure that we have food and make sure we had gas, So I myself have been a recipient of these things and know what it is like to be abased. And sometimes you can get in those situations and then you find out that the people that you thought would help you wouldn't help you. And it can almost make you have a root of bitterness where you say, "Man, wait till I get back up. I ain't doing nothing for nobody." Well, in my case, I was saying to myself that when I get back up, I'm gonna be looking for people to do for, because I don't want to. I didn't like being in that situation of abasement, but we have to be there because it does something for our life and teaches us valuable lessons. So I wanted to come on here and say thank you. We didn't come on here to ask anybody for anything, but we did want to come on here so that we can thank the brothers and sisters over the years that have been contributors to a good cause of aiding and assisting each other when we go through our trial period or whatnot. And then we want to have, I just thank the Most High enough for those brothers and sisters. It's almost like the Messiah. The Messiah, he said, those people that walk with me, they were blessed because they seen and they heard everything that I did. He said, but even more blessed are those that have not walked with me, that have not seen, but they believe. And this is kind of how it is with another group of the brothers and sisters that they don't even have to be asked to do something. They just do it. You know, they just do it. They just do it and put it out there. And that is a humbling thing to have to go through on my part because, man, I'm telling you, man, it's a very humbling thing for people to put their money in your care. It's hard to get money out of people. It's hard to get money out of people. And I don't say this with no type of pride or no type of arrogance or anything like that, man. But like I said, it's humbling because I don't understand, you know, how I got here. That people would trust me with their money. You see? And I'm not no Christian preacher. I ain't no Christian pastor, dog. I've been through all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't try to beg for nobody to do nothing. Now, if something happens, then you know what? Then we're gonna, you know, it's just it's something, man. It's really something. And I say this humbling because I know that if people are not careful, you can start taking people's things and you can use them for the wrong reason. That's why I'm telling you, man, when you get abased, you learn how to rejoice in it because your abasement is so that the Most High can teach you how to abound. When he teaches you how to abound, you understand that he's responsible for all of your needs. And so you're able to be a steward, a better steward of what it is, whatever it is. Some people, they're surrounded by people that are doing good just like them. They may not come in contact with people that are suffering on a regular basis. But when somebody feel compelled to put something in your hand in the hopes that I'm doing this for the Lord and I just believe and I just trust that it's going to get to the right place, that requires a great level of faith. You see, so we want to thank the brothers and sisters for all that they have done. And when we start talking about all that they have done, we're not talking about things that have been done for me. Because the things are not being done for me. We're talking about all the brothers and sisters are doing for other brothers and sisters that are going through a time of abasement. And I think that that's one of the greatest things that we see happening right now with a portion of Israelite heritage and the Israelite movement is because we are coming back to concern for one another. Oh, we got a long way to go because our Israelite brothers is like children playing in the sandbox, you know, arguing and bickering and throwing scriptures around and this and that and the other. But the beauty of it is that when they get the call to raise one up, it had never been a time that we came out on social media and sent the call to try to raise a brother or a sister up that we didn't respond to that call. And some of the same brothers that were just maybe just arguing and just fussing and just throwing 100 scriptures at each other will be the same brothers and sisters that respond to the call and come together to meet a particular goal with common ground. And that's a beautiful thing. When the love comes back to us as a people, when we are concerned about the welfare of each other, and then we understand that all of the things that the Most High gives us, they don't become a benefit unless you start using them to be a blessing or to raise somebody else up. Here's an example. I've been a barber and a hairstylist for over 33 years, active. But my ability to cut hair has never benefited me. I can't cut my own hair. And I ain't going to put no hair weave in my own hair, so I ain't going to put no women's hairstyle. So that had never benefited me. It only becomes a benefit to me when I expose it and release it into the world. When brothers can come in and sit down and start getting their hair cut, then my gift becomes a benefit to me because it helps my brother. A sister come and sit down in a chair and start taking and making her beautiful from her hair. And you know what? Even though I have the gift, it does not benefit me until I give it away, until I release it into the hands of one of my brothers and my sister. And this is how it is when it comes to abundance, because the life only requires so much. The chief things in life are food and water, clothing, and a house to cover your shame. Everything that's over that is classified as abundance. But that abundance don't go. It can't take you no farther because we already have the chief things in life. But when out of that abundance, we can start having care and concern for one another, and we can use our abundance to help each other acquire the chief things in life that they need. Food and water, clothing, and a shelter. When we can use our abundance to make sure that every last one of our brothers and sisters have the chief things in life, man, then you're looking at Israel. You're looking at Israel then. And then we want to also tell our brothers and sisters who have been beneficiaries of the gifts of other people through that time of abasement. We want to make them understand that, you know what? The Bible says that cast thy bread upon the waters, and after many days thou shalt find it again. When the Most High allows you to come out of your time of abasement and allows you to abound, then you understand what you are to do with a portion of the abundance. You are to take that and you are to start casting that bread out upon the waters. And the waters always symbolize the peoples of the earth. And you take that abundance and you cast it out amongst your brothers and your sisters. And after many days, you'll find it. Because the many days are representing abasement again. Everything that goes up comes back down, and everything that goes down comes back up. So after many days, when it's time for another storm or the next level of trial to come into your life, he said after many days, you'll find that substance. You'll find those finances. You'll find those gifts. You'll find those kind words. You'll find that wisdom in the time that you need it most coming back to you. So, and we want to encourage our brothers and sisters, because we have many brothers and sisters that have come along and been beneficiaries. And then the Most High allowed them to go into a season of abounding. But you never hear them. You never hear anything from them. And I don't worry about that, because that's not my job. My job is to deal with the things according to the Spirit that cause a man's heart to be pricked. You see? He who have words only, but giveth no alms, that man is like clouds and wind with no rain. He who make vain promises is as clouds and winds with no rain. You know, it's like you loan somebody some money. I'm going to pay you back, I'm going to pay you back, and you never hear from them again. He who make empty promises is like clouds and wind with no rain. And we don't want brothers and sisters to be like that and fall into that category, so we have to deal with every level, every aspect of a particular situation, because we do have people like that. We have people that say, it is not. But after he's gone, he boasts on what a great bargain that he got. We'll have people that always say what they gonna do. If I won $1 million, the first thing I do is I'll pay my 10%, I'll pay my tithe. You lying through your teeth. You win $1 million, you ain't going to think about that church. And that 10%, that $100,000 will start looking so big to you, you can't even see yourself giving it away. But we say all of these things during the time of our abasement, when the Bible tells you a man is snared by the words of his own mouth, and it's better not to make a vow than to make a vow and then not pay it. That's why I don't try to deal with people like send your love gift in the envelope on a regular basis. Do it. Man, ain't nobody got time to do that, because you can put people in positions to where they can make vows and then don't keep them, and then God bring them into judgment for something that you did because you don't have wisdom. So we're telling brothers and sisters that everybody have to live their life in, the way that they choose to live it. And nobody owes anybody anything, and nobody has to do anything for anybody. But we appreciate those that have done, even though they didn't have to do. We appreciate those that have said, even though they didn't have to say, because it shows care and concern for each other. And that's one of the things that need to spread like wildfire in this world amongst our people. That needs to spread. We need to start bringing brothers and sisters that don't have the right mindset to such shame that they start changing. You see, so I wanted to thank the brothers and sisters that have been contributors to the helps ministry over the years. And there have been many. We don't even try to keep track or try to keep count of how many. I mean, the first year we did keep track. The first year I kept track, and I kept a record of everything that was raised and everything that went out. And so the first year I kept a record, and we probably pulled in about $10,000 and went out $10,000, maybe a little bit more over in assistance to brothers and sisters. So I start keeping track on the first year. But the first year, it wasn't something that was designed. And I wanted the people to understand, hey, I got everything on record. You know what I mean? I got it right here. This is what they sent. This is who it went to. This is what that was, And so it was no intention that this was something that was going to continue. It was only but for a few momentary things that were important. But throughout the years, it have continued, and it still continues until this day. And I tell people all the time is that whatever is there, when we trying to reach a goal, we reach that goal, then we tell people they don't have to give anymore. But this is where that group of people come in. They say, well, when you said it, I didn't have it to give. I know the goal being reached, but I know I wanted to give right then and be a part. I still want to be a part. So wham, here's $300. That's what I woke up to this morning. Wham, here's $300. And I know that somebody probably got their stimulus check, which was maybe $1,400, but to take $300 of money and then just say, wham, there it is. $300 is an awful lot of money, you see? And somebody else, here's $100. Here's $50. People don't have to do that. And we have not came on social media, and we have not asked anybody for any money. I got brothers that's in different states and all they want to do is give. Oh, you good, you need anything, man, I got you. That, you know what, they want to do something. It's just in their heart to do it. The Most High have caused them to be in places to where they're abounding. And so, but I try not to deal with this particular issue unless we have people that are in that have needs, and then we can set a goal. But I also tell people is that once we reach the goal, anything that continues to come in, it will remain there. See, what that does is that stops me from having to look like I'm begging all the time on behalf of somebody else. Because as long as there's something in the PayPal account, I don't have to come back to social media and pull brothers and sisters together. We'll still be operating on those same things that was given until it runs out. And when it runs out and somebody have a need, then that's where we collectively come together and repeat the process. But I wanted to send a shout out to all of the brothers and sisters, and I want to tell you about this particular story of the landowner that was away, and he left his 3 servants in charge of his stuff. And he gave one 5 talents of his stuff. He gave another 2 talents of his stuff, and another he gave 1. And at the point of time when he came back, the one that he had given 5 talents to, he said, hey, I gained 10 off of mine. The other one said, I gained 4 from my 2. And the other one said, I knew that thou was a hard man and that you wanted to reap, but you didn't sow nothing. So I just went and hid the talent in the earth. So when you got back, you could get your talent back that you gave me. Well, he was classified as a wicked servant. That's the one who gets the stuff that God gives him, and he don't want to release it into the world. He wants to hold on to it, and he wants to hide it. He wants to make people think that he don't have what he has, so that he don't have to share it with nobody. But the one that has 5 talents, he said, you know what? I did what you said. I took them 5 talents and I went out into the world, and I was going to be fruitful and multiply. I cast that substance out on the waters amongst the people. He said, and as a result of that, when my time of need, now that you come back to deal with me about your stuff, I find 5 more talents floating on the waters of the people. I find that because I multiplied those gifts among the people, those gifts came back double and triple. And I had 5, but now I got 10. And the one that he gave 2 talents, he said, you know what? I took that and I understood what God told my father Adam. To be fruitful and to multiply means to be profitable, means to make a profit, means to teach somebody else whatever you know, means to share whatever it is that God had given you with somebody else. It means to double and triple as we start teaching each other these particular things. He said, and I cast that out there. And I went out there in the world and I invested them 2 talents that you gave me into your people. And as they rose up, they came and began to invest now in me. And where I had 2 talents, now I have 4. And God said to that one, thou wicked and slothful servant, wicked and lazy servant. He said, he who don't do it, even that he has shall be taken away. To whom much is given, much shall be required. And he can be faithful over the least of the things. I'll make a master over the greatest things. So he said he took that 1 talent from the lazy dude, and he gave that 1 talent to the one that had 5 talents. And now this one here, so this is the story. And you'd be surprised at how many things are dealing with money and dealing with giving and dealing with the gifts and the things that God had given us. If you hoard everything that God gives you without the understanding that God gave it to you, and if God can give it to you, surely you ought to be able to give something to your brother during his time of need. It ain't like it's going to kill you. It don't cost you nothing to do good, and all you ever going to have is what you hold on to. But I dare y'all to start learning how to release things. And I'm not talking about releasing nothing to me or into my care or to the PayPal account. I'm talking about I dare you to go into your own neighborhood and start releasing the substance and the talents that God has given you. I dare you to start going in your own neighborhood amongst your own people and start casting your bread out upon the waters of the people that's in lack, the people that's in the basement, the people that's in places where everything don't look lovely. I dare you start going to release the talents and the words to build people up and to raise them up. And watch what happens. Watch what happens. Give and it shall be given. Shall men come back and give unto your bosom, pressed down, shaken together. That means like a bag of leaves. Leaves are fluffy, and when you put leaves in a bag, you mash them down, you press them down, you shake them up, you press them down, and now you can put more leaves in the bag, and you smash them down, and you press them down, and now you can put more leaves in the bag. Well, just imagine when men come back and start giving to your bosom so many things that are so compressed and pressed, they compress down to the point to where it's running over, and it's an abundance of everything that you need, because God promised that he will give seed to the sower, and those that go at forth sowing in tears shall come again reaping. They'll bring their sheaves with them, and his bag will stay full of seeds. When you are a giver and you have concern for your brothers and sisters, the Most High makes sure that your bag has full of seeds. The more seeds you give away, I don't know where the seeds come from. It's like at the bottom of the bag, it just keep rebirthing seeds into existence to somewhere the bag is, you trying to throw the seeds away, but the bag is spilling all over. You can't even throw the seeds away. It's like, where do the seeds keep coming from? That's God's promise. He promised that he would give seed to the one that's sowing them. And then you go out there and sow. Some may fall on stony ground. Some may fall among the thorns. Some may fall where it's not much earth, but some going to fall on good ground. They're going to produce seed, some 60, some 30, some 100-fold. You're talking about having your gift multiplied 100 times. I wonder what it would be if you really knew that in the spirit of the Most High, you can go in and invest $100 into somebody. Imagine that $100 being multiplied 100 times. Some gifts gonna bring forth some 60. Imagine that $100 that you give somebody, that $100 you bless somebody with, that's gonna magnify itself 30 times, 60 times, $100 you gave to somebody in their time of need, and God turned around and multiplied that 100 by 60, by 30, by 100. If we really understood the principles of what it means to cast thy bread amongst the people of the earth, cast thy substance among, if we really understood these things, we would be breaking our neck. Israel would be done took over the whole globe, but Israel's growth is stagnated because Israel don't understand these simplistic principles. Israel is the one that the kingdom master left in control of his stuff while he was on the earth. It is Israel that was given the 5 talents, that was given the 2 talents, that was given the 1 talent. It was Israel that was classified as the unjust steward who was supposed to be responsible for his owner's stuff. It is Israel. It is Israel that need to learn the lesson about who he is and the purpose that God gave him. It was Israel that was supposed to cast his bread upon the waters of the nations, that he may become a kingdom of priests. That's what God called him to do, to become a kingdom of priests to all nations, meant that Israel would take the talents that God had given him, cast them amongst the waters of the people on the earth, and watch me be multiplied by their spirit, by their understanding, by their knowledge, and all of them would come. In the last days, the Lord shall reestablish. The mountain of the Lord shall be reestablished. The mountain of the Lord is synonymous with the rock, because a mountain is a rock. Whosoever hear these sayings of mine, I will liken him to a wise man that built this house on a rock. And the flood came, and the rains came, and the wind blew. They beat upon the house, but the house didn't fall. Whosoever hear these sayings of mine, I will liken him to a man that built his house on a rock. In the last days, the mountain of the Lord will be established. The mountain of the Lord is synonymous with the rock, which is the sayings of Jesus Christ, or Yeshua HaMashiach. He said, and in that day, the many nations shall begin to flow unto it. They shall say within themselves, come now, let us go up to the house of the God of Jacob. There he will teach us his ways. There his law shall go forth out of sight. This is the talent that you're talking about. But the money is the least of the things. The materialistic stuff is the least. He that is faithful over the least of the things, I'll make him a ruler over him. You can't handle God's word. You can't handle the mysteries of the Bible when you don't understand that the least of the things are all the materialistic things that you can gain in this world that are meant to become a blessing to your brothers and sisters. Jesus walked from one end of town to the next end of town, and he fed people. He fed people with physical bread. You got to be able to feed people. You got to be able to meet them at the point of their need before they can comprehend your words. You want to come out and start talking to everybody, but you ain't bought a loaf of bread. You ain't paid a light bill. You ain't helped nobody with their rent. You ain't bought nobody no gas, but you want somebody to hear what you're talking about. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Pull yourself together, brothers and sisters. Gather yourselves together before the time of the decree.